This is the Sterling by Music Man JP100. This is the John Petrucci signature model, and it has a serious flaw. Let me show you what I mean. What the fuck is that? You know what? That's not even the biggest problem with this guitar. The trem is definitely sticking in one way or another. You start bending on the low strings, it starts pulling up. Maybe that can be fixed by some lubrication. I don't know. This guitar did not come with the tremolo arm, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to do here. I am going to have to pull the back off. But this is not the biggest problem with the guitar. The biggest problem I have with this guitar is when we start getting into leads. Check this out. Okay, that's fine, but check this out. There is a serious issue here with how the nut was cut. Check this out. The first string is far too close to the edge of the fretboard. I've been playing this guitar for the last few hours, and it just seems like I've got about an 80% chance of actually being able to fret the note before it jumps off the side. Now, this is just pure carelessness on the part of Ernie Ball. I thought these guitars were supposed to be fucking inspected before they went out of the fucking factory, guys! Now, this guitar is no longer being manufactured, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. Now, I can't say for certain this is all secondhand information, but I've heard more than one story about this guitar having issues with the way how the nut was cut, and it just not being reliable on the first string. So that's a major fuck up, in my opinion. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do about the actual tremolo system here. It seems to definitely have some tuning issues as well. I mean, you bend on the sixth and the guitar goes out of tune? Come on, what the hell is that all about? Just give the guitar a little bit of a bash there and it jumps back into tuning. That's totally not cool. I was actually at Sweetwater the other day and I picked up a Tusk nut from my friends over at Graphtech, and I thought, let's try seeing if we can fix this thing. Let's see if we can take the nut out of this guitar, drop in a pre-cut one from Graphtech, and see if that'll fix the issue with the first string. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I've never actually fully replaced a nut before. I've definitely had to re-glue a few in my time. There's no question about that, so it's not mission impossible. But just putting these two up against each other, it does look like the Graphtech is cut properly, and I hope it's going to help with the first string jumping off the fret. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to prefer it when the first string stays on the fucking fretboard! Otherwise, it's not a bad playing guitar. All right, let me break out the tools. Let me see if I can pop this off, drop in the new nut, and see what happens. Here we go. Just gonna get in here real close here. You can see just how close that string is to the edge here. It looks like it wasn't cut properly. You can see the cut lines here. And the gap between first and second strings is a lot bigger than the gap between second and third. Here's a replacement nut on the bottom and the original on top. You can see how they all line up except for the first string. The first string is just slightly out by like a millimeter or two. And this is enough to make a big impact on how that first string plays. We're back! Oh, and I wish I had some good stuff to report here. All right, first and foremost, I did get the new nut installed. That's the Graphtech Tusk nut. Now, did it move the string over? Yes, very slightly, maybe about 1 millimeter when I've got a shot here where you can see where the first string actually has carved out a little groove in the fret, and the string has moved over a little bit, which probably means these frets need to be recrowned, because you can't have the strings digging grooves into the frets because it just hurts the bends and takes energy away and it's just a fucking mess. But now that we have the new nut installed, I don't have to worry about any trim issues with strings binding up or anything like that. Graphtec makes a really, really great product. I've had the Tusk nut installed on several of my guitars, and then they've never let me down. Super happy about that. And does the string fall off the fretboard like it used to? I wish I could say it's a massive improvement, but unfortunately it's not. You can still pull the string off a little bit. I think you have to try just a little bit harder. Is it a massive improvement? Not really. That leads me to believe that this bridge is actually too wide for the fretboard. I've looked at a bunch of my other guitars, and yeah, the first string is sitting on them perfectly fine. There's no real danger of going off the fretboard. Somebody really fucked up when it came to this Tremolo system, or Tremolo system, however the fuck you guys want to pronounce it. For this guitar, yeah, it's fucking terrible. I mean, you can do dive bombs and whatnot, and it will return to pitch, mostly. Let's see what we can do here. So yeah, that actually works. It does the thing it's supposed to do, and that's dive bomb, return to pitch, and the guitar stays in tune. That's not my gripe with this thing. The thing that's really bothering me about this guitar, other than the first string not sitting where it should be, the sixth string has a serious problem with the bends still. That's after new nut install and new strings installed. Check this out. First string seems to be just going a little bit sharp there after a bend. And that's not cool. That gives us all kinds of horrible issues. The big problem for me with this guitar is the tuning stability. Something is really wrong with this when you start playing some bends and whatnot. I mean, we've got this guitar tuned just about perfect right now. Oh, what the hell happened there? You just start chugging away and it just dies? What the fuck, Ernie Ball? What the hell is this shit? How's this supposed to be practical in the studio? Now I gotta retune again. Well, let's see where that went. Ooh, A flat. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell is going on here. It just seems like the entire bridge can't make up its mind where it wants to sit. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, cool, but let's see what happens when I start bending on the sixth. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's finally sitting where it's supposed to be. Yeah, don't know. Yeah, there's definitely something going on here with the trem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen off the strings, and I'm going to try lubricating here where the trem's sitting. I already got the back pulled off the guitar here. I already tried lubricating the springs. That didn't do anything. So it's got to be the knife edge where the trem is sitting. I'm wondering what's going on there. Maybe the metal's been worn down. I'm not sure. Let me see what I can do here and see if this guitar can be saved or not, or this thing should be destined for the trash heap. So far, it's kind of leaning towards the trash heap. All right, so I just pulled the bridge and lubricated all the moving parts, changed the springs around, hoping that it's going to make some kind of improvement. Let's see what happens here. Thing is, that just felt like it shifted there. I'm not sure what's going on. Yep, it just went sharp. This is the kind of guitar I would get mad at a client if they brought it in the studio and expected to make a record with it. It's just too unpredictable and it's not reliable. And in the studio, you don't want to be wasting your time having to retune your guitar every 10 seconds because you think it might have jumped out. This is a pain in the ass guitar, and this is not a cool studio instrument. So there you go. Even after lubricating and changing the bridge around, we've still got tuning issues. And in my opinion, that makes this guitar fucking useless! Seriously, what in the fuck, Ernie Ball? You actually released this to the public? It doesn't take a genius to figure out why you're not making this model anymore. All right, so for specs, let's find out what they loaded into this piece of shit. Scale's 25.5 inches. It's a mahogany body with a flame maple top, with a maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. Okay, just for the record, yeah, any of that wood does not affect the fucking tone. The pickups do, and the amp does, and the speaker, most importantly, the speaker. If you think any of that tone wood bullshit matters, I've got a very nice bridge I would like to sell you. It mounts locking tuners, and as we've demonstrated, really doesn't help with the tuning stability at all. 24 frets, a 3-way pickup selector, and it's got dual humbuckers, a DiMarzio Crunch Lab, and liquefier, and a modern Tremolo bridge, which, as we've demonstrated here, is completely fucking worthless. This guitar is not stable. Now, if I'm going to give this thing a star rating, I'm only going to rate it on 3 particular category because, yeah, this didn't come new, and so I can't really rate it on the packing that it came with. So, setup, I give it a 4 out of 5. It actually plays really fucking nice when the strings stay on the fretboard, so that's a very cool thing. Fit and finish gets a big fat 0. The fact that the first string would jump off because the nut was cut incorrectly means somebody did not give a fuck about this in the factory. So that's why it gets a 0 on that rating. Components. Once again, I've got to give 0 for components. What good are your fucking pickups if the guitar's not going to fucking stay in tune? What the fuck? You've got locking tuners. Worthless. Fucking, I just put a brand new fucking Tusk nut on here. This is a self-lubricating nut. These things are amazing. Fucking worthless because the fucking bridge won't stay in fucking tune. You bend the 6th string, the thing shifts and doesn't go back. You gotta bash it with your hand. That is fucking worthless. My recommendation, if you see this thing on the used market, avoid it like the plague, especially if you're thinking about buying it online. Because unless you can check to see how the nut is cut and how stable the bridge is, you should not be spending your money on this. You should be saving it and maybe buying a higher quality guitar from, say, Harley Benton or something like that. At least they can know how to build a fucking quality instrument. There's just no excuse for this piece of garbage. Now, even though I really despise this guitar, if you like the tones you were hearing today, you can grab a free impulse response in the description below. It's absolutely free. It's my gift to you for just being awesome and watching the show. Now, normally this is where I would break out the hammer of truth and we give the company an education on what it means to build a quality instrument. However, this is a borrowed guitar, so I'm not at liberty to fucking destroy it, even though it absolutely deserves it. Believe me, if this was my guitar, I would be fucking completely rearranging it and you'd be seeing the remnants of it up on the wall. This is quite possibly the worst guitar I've ever had in the studio for review. In fact, I think this is the worst guitar I've ever reviewed on this show. This thing is an absolute 100% piece of shit. Do not buy this. LTD makes better guitars. Spectre makes better guitars. Harley Benton makes better guitars. And if you want to know what the hell I'm talking about, Harley Benton building better quality guitars, check out this video here where I take a look at the EX84. That's a quality instrument that actually stays in tune.